Federal employees told to justify jobs in email, or Musk says they face dismissal. CNN, February 22nd, 2025. CNN and President Donald Trump and Elon Musk's latest move targeting the federal workforce, employees began receiving emails Saturday asking them to explain what work they did last week, as Musk announced that, quote, failure to respond will be taken as a resignation, unquote. Quote, please reply to this email with approximately 5 bullet points of what you accomplished last week and CC your manager. Please do not send any classified information, links, or attachments, unquote, reads the email, which comes from the Office of Personnel Management's HR email address but has no signature. The email subject line reads, quote, what did you do last week, unquote. CNN has obtained copies of emails sent to federal employees in multiple agencies. Many were sent with high importance or red exclamation marks. The email blast came on the heels of a social media post by Musk threatening the jobs of workers who do not comply. Quote, consistent with President @ Donald Trump's instructions, all federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week, unquote. Musk posted Saturday on X hours after Trump suggested he be more, quote, aggressive, unquote. However, the email itself does not state that failure to answer will be taken as resignation. It says the deadline for submission is Monday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. The email sent shockwaves through a federal workforce already reeling from an array of orders from the Trump administration, including the recent termination of thousands of employees on probationary status, a deferred resignation offer that many viewed as questionable, and a requirement to return to the office full-time, among others. One president of a union chapter started getting texts from concerned members, quote, nonstop, unquote, following Musk's post on the OPM email. Quote, I don't have any clue what in the world that email means either, unquote, the union official told CNN, noting they are telling members to, quote, just stand by until I advise otherwise, unquote. Agencies advise caution or non-response. Some agencies have also advised workers not yet to respond to the email, notably at agencies where much or all of employees' duties may be sensitive. FBI Director Kash Patel told Bureau employees Saturday not to immediately respond to the OPM email. In an email to Bureau employees obtained by CNN, Patel said, quote, the FBI, through the Office of the Director, is in charge of all of our review processes and will conduct reviews in accordance with FBI procedures. When and if further information is required, we will coordinate the responses. For now, please pause any responses, unquote. Patel's email came after senior leaders at FBI's New York field office and other divisions told their employees to not respond, a person briefed on the matter said. Employees of the National Security Agency were also notified Saturday that they should hold off on responding until they receive further guidance from the Department of Defense, a source said, and Ed Martin, interim U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, sent an email advising employees to, quote, be general, unquote, in their responses if necessary and promising to protect them. Quote, if anyone gives you problems, I've got your back, unquote, Martin wrote. The OPM email's Monday deadline also raises questions about what happens to workers who are on vacation or sick leave, the official noted, quote, are they subject to termination because they are not available to respond, unquote. Other workers have told CNN that they do classified work that they cannot divulge in an email or don't have access to computers all the time, which could cause them to miss the deadline. Outage from unions, anxiety for workers. The head of top union representing federal workers lambasted Musk's ultimatum, telling CNN in a statement that it reflects the Trump administration's, quote, utter disdain for federal employees and the critical services they provide to the American people, unquote. Quote, it is cruel and disrespectful to hundreds of thousands of veterans who are wearing their second uniform in the civil service to be forced to justify their duties to this out-of-touch, privileged, unelected billionaire who has never performed one single hour of honest public service in his life, unquote, said Everett Kelly, national president of the American Federation of Government Employees, which represents more than 800,000 federal workers. Kelly said his union plans to take legal action to, quote, challenge any unlawful terminations of our members and federal employees, unquote. And Doreen Greenwald, president of the National Treasury Employees Union, called the OPM email, quote, completely un-American, unquote. Quote, this afternoon's "What did you do last week?" email to federal workers across the nation should be called out as completely un-American, unquote. Greenwald said in a statement, quote, NTEU's members are professional civil servants and will not back down to these blatant attempts to attack a vital resource for the American public, unquote. One federal worker told CNN that they find the demand, quote, insulting, unquote, and, quote, absolutely mind-blowing, unquote, especially considering their activity at work is already tracked. Quote, it's callous and calculating and just another low-down tactic to get rid of employees they haven't been able to touch yet, unquote, the worker said of Musk's post, saying a non-response would be considered a resignation. Another federal staffer told CNN that they feel compelled to reply. Quote, personally, I'm afraid to not respond by the deadline based on Elon's tweets that non-response would be considered a resignation, unquote, said the worker, who noted that their friends at another agency, quote, are on the fence on whether to respond with actual accomplishments or to respond with bullets of the oath we took to the Constitution, unquote. Trump tells Musk to be more aggressive. Trump has tapped Musk to reshape the federal government with his Department of Government Efficiency, but whether this latest move is legal is unclear. Reach for comment, an OPM spokesperson said in a statement that the move was aimed at a, quote, commitment to an efficient and accountable federal workforce, unquote. Agencies, the spokesperson said, quote, will determine any next steps, unquote. Shortly after Musk's post Saturday, Trump called the ex-owner a patriot and said he was, quote, doing a great job, unquote, during remarks at the Conservative Political Action Conference. Musk's comment Saturday followed an earlier post from Trump suggesting he'd like to see the tech billionaire get more aggressive. Quote, Elon is doing a great job, but I would like to see him get more aggressive. Remember, we have a country to save, but ultimately to make greater than ever before, MAGA, unquote. Trump's post read, Musk replied, quote, will do, Mr. President, unquote, in his own post. The emails come as Musk and Trump seek to reshape the federal workforce, including reducing its size, replacing career workers with political appointees, wiping away some civil service protections, ending diversity efforts, and more. This story has been updated with new reporting. CNN's Betsy Klein and Sean Lingas contributed to this report.